and I wandered off. In the meantime, went 4 years in the Air Force, came back, finished college, worked part-time during that period with Sears Roebuck. They saw fit to hire me off in the management training program, and I wound up spending, 22 years in the Sears Tower. So I got some experience that way. Funny thing is I never worked for a person in my 38 years at Sears that wasn't a veteran.
No kidding.
Yeah, Sears was very, very full of veterans because one of the saviors of Sears over the 120 years had been a one-star general in World War I, General Wood, and he instilled the military flavor into the Sears business. A store was like a company. It was just run that way.
How long did you stay in Chicago?
It's 38 years.
What year did you leave?
What?
What year did you leave?
Left Sears in 1992. Okay. I was.
So you're in Chicago through 90s. Okay. You're up to the early 90s. Okay.
Yeah, I went the year that they shot Martin Luther King in 1968.
Yeah.
That was.
I left 76.
Yeah.
I don't remember our paths crossing. We could have, though.
Probably did, and I didn't pay no attention to you.
My grandmother actually worked for J.C. Penney.
Yeah, they were around.
In Chicago. So
they were in my way a lot over the years.
Understand.
Yeah.
And nobody knows who either of those stores are right now, do they?
Yeah, there's still a few of us that are 93 years old that can remember Sears Roebuck, J.C. Penney, and Montgomery Ward.
Yeah, Montgomery Ward.
Of course, Southern people never heard of Montgomery Ward.
Yeah.
But
all right, who'd you bring here with you today? You're going to have to share your mic with this guy at least.
Oh, no.
No, well, you can talk about it if you want to. I can sit and talk to you all day, Don.
By the way, I spent 4 years in the Air Force, and I loved it. And if I hadn't gotten myself into a marriage situation, I would have probably spent 30 years in the Air Force.
You think you'd been a permanent guy?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I lived, I breathed it. And then when I got out, actually in Illinois, I was too busy to mess with stuff like the American Legion, but so I joined anyway, and I got the magazine for 40 years. But I didn't like the fist fights and all that mess on Friday night. I did like their fish, but then I came down here and saw that this was a field that needed some assistance, and it's just been a wonderful part of my life to move into the assisting veterans in West Georgia. So that's
I think when a lot of us think about our veterans here, our first thought goes to Don Levans and all the good work he does. That's you.
Well, I don't. That ain't in my brain. I don't know where you got that. For God's sake.
All right, who's this kid?
Dale Robinson. I'd like to welcome you to the Donald Levans Hour here. Thank you for listening.
There you go.
I grew up in Burwell, Georgia, beautiful downtown Burwell. And, it didn't get much better than that back then. I was in the Army. I was in the military police and the infantry. Loved both of them. During the Vietnam era, worked at Southwire prior to and after getting back out of the service for 42 years, which makes me about 13 years old.
There you go.
Yeah. Since I got into the American Legion, I've been associated with some very great people like Don Levans, who got me started in other things like the Veterans Park, and just enjoy working for those associations and helping veterans out. And that's all I have to say about that.
All right, and we got the new guy this morning, so maybe we can encourage him to talk a little bit too about himself, because you guys, we've heard your stories over, and I may get to tell them anyway. Don's got some really good stories, some things to be proud of. But we'll bring in the new guy here. Is it Lieutenant Colonel?
Yes.
Lieutenant Colonel Mike Washington. Tell us your story, sir.
It's a great time. Blessed through my life to have opportunities in the Air Force and outside of the Air Force. But grew up just a little bit east of here, Douglas County, and went away in the Air Force when I was about 19 years old after a year of college here at West Georgia College. So I'm a local kind of guy and enjoyed that very much. But then when I went away in the Air Force, when I went in delayed enlistment, and I raised my hand and I took the oath of enlistment, my life began to change dramatically. So at that point, I knew I was Air Force Blue. I did 4 years as an enlistee. I worked to finish my degree. That was one of the reasons I went in the 80s, was to finish my degree. Tuition assistance was my friend. For every $100 that my education cost me, I had to pay $25. What a great opportunity. It was tough, early 80s. I was trying to get jobs with like people like Delta, Lockheed Martin. They're like, do you have any experience in with aircraft maintenance? I'm like, no, but I'm teachable. Come back and talk to us when you have experience. I said, okay, well, I'll go in the Air Force. And I became an aircraft maintainer. I worked avionics, went to school at night. When my buddies were playing softball and football for the squadron, I was going to school to get my degree. So once I got my bachelor's degree, I started a master's. I applied for officer training school and was accepted and became a lieutenant at Washington at that point, and moved around the world and saw my three boys enjoy moving around the world and having a good time. And what a great experience, serving my country each day, coming home, feeling good. Job satisfaction was off the charts. Finished up a career in Phoenix, Arizona, Luke Air Force Base. Retired out of squadron commander responsibility there. People hear Air Force and they go, oh, were you a pilot? No. I didn't plan ahead to be a pilot. If you're going to be a pilot, you need to plan ahead, know your math, know your science, take some private pilot's lessons, maybe get a certification if you can, and then the Air Force will talk to you about being a pilot candidate. But I had the opportunity to serve as aircraft maintainer, a logistician. I served as chief of staff for one of the departments over at Air Command and Staff College, as an instructor at Air Command and Staff College. Teaching was part of what I did. I enjoyed that very much. And when I retired and moved back to Georgia, I'd always wanted to own a small business. So I talked to who was the president of the Chamber of Commerce for years, Daniel. I called him when I was still in Arizona and said, hey, I'm looking for opportunities. And he said, hey, here's some. We talked. I said, I've got some understanding about the UPS store in town. He goes, yeah, it's over in the public shopping center. I said, great. So I contacted those people, corporate for UPS stores, and bought that franchise. So came back, worked that for a couple of years, and then missed being in my Air Force uniform. So after a year of serving as a Department of the Air Force civilian, became a Air Force J ROTC instructor. So I served at Rome High School for 4 years, and then served at Central High School for 7.
Mike, that's where I know. We've met you before. I think we've had you on the program
you've
talking
had
about that, right?
Master Sergeant Steve Peters over here on the show, and he is phenomenal. Wonderful program over there. And my replacement, Lieutenant Colonel Dave Cummings, graduated out of his time on active duty in the Air Force. He was an ROTC instructor at Georgia Tech for 4 years. And his calling in life is to be around young people and to develop talent. And so he interviewed with people over at Central High School. Kelly Edwards, the principal there, was a wise man and hired him in. And they're still going gangbusters, doing a great job with the Mighty 62. So Air Force JROTC has obviously a wonderful place in my heart and serving. And then working with Vet Park. I've been on the board of directors years ago when Norris Garrett was very active in the program, and he invited me to come be a part of it. And knowing Barry Gardner, who's our current president of the Veterans Park Association, they would invite me to be a part of different things, and we would bring our cadets, and the cadets will still be a part of it tomorrow. So the cadets from Central High School and across the county will help us tomorrow. Lieutenant Colonel Mike Farr and Master Sergeant Ryan McLean out of Carrollton High School. They always bring their cadets and help us on Memorial Day. So it's a great community for having community support and having our cadets, high schoolers, who are in citizenship programs to come out and continue to serve. So it's great.
Well, thank you for your service, and thank you for your service, and thank you for your service. As we have you guys, when we have you guys in the program, and do you get tired of hearing that ever? People thanking you for that. I mean, when you have the opportunity, I mean, if you go around wearing the hat that Don's wearing, people are going to know, but not everybody does know.
Yeah.
When you're in there. But you guys, you guys appreciate that. I mean, when people do still tell you that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I talk to people. I go, well, thank you so much, and it was an honor. And they go, did you enjoy your time? I go, well, I had a blast.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, never a bad boss. Worked with some of America's finest. And at the end of the day, your life made a difference.
You'd mentioned $25 out of every 100. You got that 25, or you only had to pay 25?
I only had to pay 25. It was tuition assistance at the time was 75%.
Okay.
So
You say at the time, was that a big deal? Was that definitely the attention getter for you to want to join, or?
Well, I always, in my mind, I don't know if the right word was romanticize people in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grandfather was in World War II. One of my favorite uncles. He was my great uncle. He's out of Paulding County. And he was in General Patton's army. And he was injured, came home. Super kind of guy. He and his wife were some of the most loving people you'd ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
And he would share stories with us sometimes about military. And I always thought, yeah, I'm going to be in business someday. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be in business someday. But I don't know, 18, 19-year-old young men sometimes get a feel for, I think I need to grow up and move on a little bit. And that's what hit me. And a buddy of mine said, you want your degree? Why don't we go in the Air Force together? We can go in on the buddy plan. And I was like, talk to me. So we talked to the recruiters, and they said 75% tuition assistance. You get your training, and you start your resume. So I thought, that's a great opportunity.
Now it's 100%, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great opportunity.
All right.
So,
Time right now is 8:44. We're going to take our first break, and then we will talk about the big Veterans Day event, which is going on tomorrow. Again, Veterans Day is Monday. And like I say, we'll talk about that when we come back from this first break. Community Voice is brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
The AP Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined advanced placement curriculum track to earn a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically prepared students to pursue college-level studies throughout 17 AP courses in 5 subject categories while enrolled at OMA. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Hey, 45. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning we are on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Have some people that are checking in. I guess they're probably just sending their hellos. So we've got Sarah Pitts, Mayor Pro Tem Bridges, Jacqueline Bridges, Bonnie Rowell, Leslie Smith McPherson, and Robert Barnes watching us, along with thousands of other people this morning. They're just the only ones who checked in to kind of let you know they're watching. Talking about the big Veterans Day event, which is coming up on Saturday. If you are unable to attend, we'll be streaming it live on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and it will be up there forever. So if you are unable to watch it Saturday morning, say you don't want to wake up till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you can watch it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be up there. You can watch it. And we do see, Don, I know you've seen those numbers go up. Every day you watch it, and you got your family in South Carolina that watch it.
Yeah, a lot of hired mourners. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the event. Let's hype it up. All right, it's coming up tomorrow, and as always, it starts out with Terry Lowry and his band, right?
Yes.
They're going to do some patriotic music starting out about 10:30. Get us through the rest of the service now.
All right. Terry Lowry and the Carrollton Wind Ensemble and the Carroll County Community Chorus. We sure do appreciate their support. They show up early. They'll be out there helping set up chairs, and then they'll start practicing about 9:30. 10:30, they'll start the music, patriotic music. We'll kick that off, have a good time. People will still be arriving. The talking begins at 1100 hours. So once we do that, we'll have Chaplain Tidwell with our prayer time. We'll have some presentation of colors, like I said, with the Carroll County Air Force JROTC. We'll do pledge. We'll do national anthem. We'll have some time of focusing on what a veteran is. And a lot of people miss out on that sometimes. I mean, I worked with a young man a long time ago, and he was like, Memorial Day weekend kind of deal, May, and he says, that's when we honor you. Isn't that right, Mike? And I'm like, no, I'm still alive. And he was like, he looked at me funny, he goes, Veterans Day. Got it. I said, that's awesome. You know, that was a good conversation for me and that young man to have. So we'll talk a little bit about a veteran, and that's one thing that we would like to invite is veterans. A lot of people think retirees are veterans. If someone served 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 years in the military, you're a veteran. Come join us. Come be a part of what goes on with the Carrollton Vet Park, with another Veterans Association here in town. Get back in the community for that kind of camaraderie. And then we have the honor to have Don Levans as our keynote speaker. I've heard Don speak on multiple occasions. I know that
today.
Today, you know, and I'm taking up too much of Don's time. But, you know, Don, when you talk to Don and you hear his story, I get chills every time. And so years ago in Air Force JROTC here in Carroll County, we had the opportunity. We always did an annual military ball. The young men were in a semi-formal uniform for the evening. Young ladies were welcome to wear an elegant evening gown. We had dignitaries from our schools across the board, principals, family members. It was a great, nice event. And one of those years, I invited Don to be our guest speaker. And when he shared his story, we had about 140 people in attendance that night. They hung on his every word. So it's an honor to have Don as our guest speaker tomorrow. That will be wonderful. The music will be awesome. And the JROTC cadets will not only present the colors at the beginning of the ceremony, they will also do a ceremonial flag folding event toward the end of the ceremony. It is one where as each fold of the flag is folded, there's a narrative that goes along with that. And again, the crowd listens and goes, oh my God, how cool is that? So it's a great opportunity to have a wonderful day tomorrow to honor all of our veterans.
It's a great event, absolutely, every year. And I mean, where's the closest event like this, like the one we're going to have in Carroll County tomorrow?
I don't know of another one exactly like it, except at the National Cemetery in Washington,
so they have to go pretty far
D.C.
to see one. So they might as well go to this one.
We have a moving ceremony in spite of the speaker. Okay? Terry Lowry is such a blessing to this county in many ways, but he has blessed us over the years. We don't even have to call him and remind him. He's got it on his calendar for 2092 down the line.
He's ready.
He is devoted to us, and having that wonderful group of people set the stage for this, it's a moving ceremony. And then Mike mentioned the Junior ROTC. What a blessing they have been for us over the years. We are a bunch of old veterans that walk and try to call it marching. They actually march. They're sharp. And they're such a blessing to us to sit there and watch them do what we used to be able to do. And they don't realize that. They don't really know how important they are to us. So, but to people who are not veterans, it's an opportunity to see and feel and touch what a veteran is. I mean, we may try to explain it. I think it's a very difficult thing to explain, but there's no other body that I've ever been connected with that have as much in common as we do as veterans. And if I'm able to get my macular degeneration to work through the few notes I've got at 93, I hope to be able to explain a little bit about who we are, what we have shared together, what makes us be together, and why we fight with each other over. The Air Force is, the best branch of service. And I'm sick and tired of the rest of them.
The Veterans Day event is tomorrow.
It is. Yeah, and we look. It's something that it is true. Most of us are veterans, bragging on veterans. Okay, so get used to it.
Well, that event again is tomorrow. It starts at 11 o'clock. Show up about 10:15, 10:30. You get to hear some music from Terry Lowry and his band. Yeah. And if you can't make it, though, it will be on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. You're going to get all the fine video. Joel Brock handles that for us.
And thank y'all for doing that. You have, sometimes it's 11,000, 12,000 people that watch this program. So it's a blessing to us. You do a great service for us old veterans, sir.
Well, on behalf of Stephen Craddock, I say thank you and honored to do it.
Oh, no, don't bring
And Joel
him.
Brock, yeah.
In spite of Steve, it's good, yeah.
It's 8:53. We're going to take our final break and come back and let's see if we can get some money and some volunteers and some donations for the rest of your programs after this break, right? We want to do that? We'll take our final break, 8:54, Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
The customized academic scholar journey at Oak Mountain Academy is individually designed to provide students with a personalized, clearly defined academic track that earns the student a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically driven students to pursue a focused, rigorous course of study personalized to their wants and desires. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
855. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice program. Wrapping up our show on this Friday, and again, we're promoting the Veterans Day event, which is going on at the Carroll County Veterans Memorial Park, just down the road from us here on Noonan Road. That event starts at 10:30 with music, and then the ceremony is at 11 o'clock. And if you are not able to attend, although I think we would love to see y'all out there, and standing room only, thousands of people spilling out onto the road would be awesome. But if you can't make it, you can watch it on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. And that programming tomorrow morning is sponsored by Carroll County Board of Commissioners, Chairman Michelle Morgan. So there you go, guys. We've got about 3 minutes, but and I wish we had more time to talk about everything that the park offers and the request for donations. But let's take it over here for this last 3 minutes. I guess what were the latest additions at the park, and then what kind of efforts you guys have going on right now to raise money to donations?
Well, the donations are always welcome, but the main thing is we would like for you to honor a family veteran or a friend veteran with a plaque in the park. We have 1,513 plaques right now that are in place. We're working on wall number 32. And Bill Maddox, who was one of the men who had a vision for this park, late 1990s, is still active in the association. And he's got a phone number that if people want to buy a plaque, have that place of honor for their veteran, they can contact Bill at 770-832-6442. And if it goes to a voicemail, just leave a voicemail. Bill's great about getting back with people, and he'll tell folks what it takes. And what it will take is the DD Form 214, and that helps start the whole process. Every veteran, when we separate honorably from the military, we walk away with a DD Form 214, and that's what Bill will need to help make that happen.
So you guys do believe there are other veterans out there that still should be celebrated and remembered and just not on that wall yet, right?
8,742 in Carroll County.
Well, there you go. There's still a few out there. All right, guys, 2 minutes. There's also an event, and Don, you asked me to promote this about a month ago, and I kind of dropped the ball on reaching out to them. I apologize, but hey, the event you can celebrate for those 3 weeks or recognize our veterans for those 3 days over the weekend. Monday, there's something going on at the University of West Georgia as well that we encourage people to attend.
Yes, Belinda Parker is at the Ingram Library, and they will host a reception from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock on the ground floor there. And then from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock is an open house, and they have documents that date back past the Civil War, from my understanding. So it's a great time to come by. She welcomes all the folks. They've got some special parking near the bookstore and beside the campus center, and then make your way over to Ingram Library.
Got some maps, too, some old maps. Those
old
are
maps,
always interesting looking at.
Artifacts, just a welcome kind of deal. And the 2 high schools will be hosting events as well. So go to the high school websites here in town and see when they're having their Veterans Day celebrations on Monday.
Don, 30 seconds. Encourage us one last time to come out and see you and at your show on Saturday.
Well, if you're able, yeah, come on. It's hard, if you can possibly come. We have about 200 people, 2 to 4. We have had 400 people, but we should fill up. We have 2 bleachers this year, and you bring your own chair, and we'll have about 100 folding chairs set up. And we'll have water, so we hope you come, and this is really a celebration of the veterans who are living in November. In May we will honor those who served and sacrificed. So that's the difference in the two. Be with us. Come on.
Very good, guys. Thank you for coming out, and again, thank you for your services. Yeah, thank yous for your service. You know what I mean. All right, time right now is 8:59. Thank you for listening to this morning's Community Voice program. Again, that event is tomorrow morning at 10:30. Music begins, and if you miss it, if you can't make it out there, you can watch it on the Newstalk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. It'll be up there forever, and you can watch it when you get the opportunity. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.